Welcome everyone to the G3X Podcast, where it's God, Gym, Grind, Unfiltered. This is episode 10 of the podcast. Super excited. I have here Jimmy, who's an awesome friend. You have an awesome story to talk about. It's going to be super exciting, from bodybuilding, his fitness journey, and there's a lot of cool stories from his life and his impact. So I know you guys are going to get a lot of value from it. But Jimmy, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling today?
Oh, well, thank you for having me, and I feel great. I really appreciate you having me. Looking forward to having a good time with you today.
Definitely, no, for sure. When we connected to the audience, I found Jimmy through social media. Like a lot of the guests I've had through the podcast, found him through social media, been seeing his fitness journey. He's definitely been a big inspiration to me, not even exaggerating, just seeing his dedication to fitness, his accomplishments, the things he's overcome, and his bodybuilding career. And it's like super awesome. It's very inspiring. And it's someone that, when I'm his age, I want to be like him when I'm older. I want to be like you when I grow up, honestly, because it's super inspiring, truly, Jimmy. So again, thank you so much for also being willing to be part of the podcast. And to the audience who maybe isn't aware of who you are, give a little introduction, where you're from, your occupation, what you do, and we take it from there.
Oh, I'm a 46-year-old professional bodybuilder. I started bodybuilding in 2023, believe it or not. I got a late start in life. I am, 46 years old. And I started when I was about, 43. 43. But weight training is a different story. Actually, competitive bodybuilding, I started in 2023. I've been weight training since 2019. But, I earned my pro card that summer with the natural bodybuilding organization called OCB. And it really changed a lot of stuff in my life. I became a professional athlete, and I felt with that comes a certain level of responsibility. You got to live up to that. And it's actually a lot of fun. It gives me motivation every day. And then hopefully I can inspire other people to make changes in their life as well.
Definitely. No, for sure you have, no doubt about it. And I've seen your post on social, and I could tell you enjoy it as you're posting, you're working out. Like, you're literally grinding it there in the gym. I love that. But awesome. So let me ask you then, what initially, before into the bodybuilding, you said weight training 2019. So let's kind of build it from there into the let's say the evolution towards bodybuilding and so forth. What got you into then weight training specifically back in 2019?
Well, like every great person who gets into weight training, it all happens with their heart getting broken. And that's pretty much what happened with me. I just turned 40. I had gone through a relationship that didn't work out, and I was pretty bummed out about it. And when you're turned 40 and you end a relationship, you kind of wonder, am I too old to get into another relationship? Even though it's all bullcrap. It's the stuff you think about in your head. You say, am I too old to get into another relationship? Who's going to want me? I have to better myself in order to have somebody want me. So it's a huge motivation to do something different. When you're sitting there and you're hurting on the couch, the last thing you want to do is just keep sitting there. So you want to do something, anything to just get up, better yourself. And my brother, Nicky, he was the one that got me to go to the gym. He said, why don't you come to the gym with me? And I said, I don't know, man. I like to hike. I like to do calisthenics at home, like sit-ups and push-ups, but I was never into weight training. I always figure it's something I might do to hurt myself, or it's not something I want to put all that effort into. But I said, oh, sure, let's try it out. And, January 2019, I joined the gym, and it haven't looked back. I realized that I really liked it a lot. It was something that occupied my time, took my mind off a lot of the bad stuff in my life, and it just enabled me to just get a clear headspace while I'm there, and it really helped me focus on becoming a better person, not just physically, but mentally also, because going to the gym is more than just physical. It's a mental aspect, with the diet, with having to push yourself to go every day, push more weight, all that kind of stuff, want to do more reps. It's definitely a mental aspect. It makes you really strong, both physically and mentally. And it's something that I really came to love. And I'm really glad that my brother got me into it. And everything happens for a reason. So me getting my heart broken was probably the best thing that ever happened.
There you go. Wow, no, I identify a lot with that story, honestly, because similar situation with me. Like I had been going to the gym a little bit, just nothing crazy. Like mainly was just kind of running on the treadmill, some light weight. And then similar situation, little heartbreak situation, relationship didn't work out. And just like you said, it's like, hey, I don't want to be just sitting here like sad, feeling on my couch, just sitting down. Like, no, let me go do something with it. Like, you know what? I'm going to go hit the gym. And then kind of got grinded out in the gym. And then when you start seeing your own progress, your own improvements in your own body, you're like, wow, this is actually super cool. And like you said, it turns into something you end up loving. So that's so cool. I love that story because I definitely identify with. And like you said, it all happens for a reason. Like, who would have known that heartbreak, which let's say got me locked into the gym, which eventually led me to start this clothing brand, G3X Fitness, to start this podcast. Now I'm here discussing with you. And just like you said, everything happens for a reason, right? It's a beautiful thing.
It truly does. I mean, when it first happened, I'm waking up in the morning because I can't sleep, right? And I'm driving myself to a lake, which just has like a good scenic view, and just sit there and just look at the lake and be like, oh, you know. And then I'm like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, this is ridiculous. So, you know, my brother really helped me get off the couch. And, you know, we all start our fitness journey with one goal, really, to look better naked. I mean, who are we kidding? That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go there and to get really, you just want to look better naked. That's really the main goal when everybody starts. And that's all I wanted to do when I start. But your goals change as you progress. And, you know, the pandemic hit and we had to stop going to the gym. Me and my brother had outside workouts in my backyard. We'd take logs and milk jugs filled with rocks. And we would do that when the gyms were closed. And still, you know, you're just trying to get workouts in really with no main goal, just to look better naked. You know what I mean? But the summer of 22, what happened with me was I started to notice real changes in my body. Like the summer of 22, I just started to see like just lines on my shoulders, my chest, my six pack really coming in and all that kind of stuff. And it made me realize that I might have something special here. And maybe you should become a bodybuilder. Why not try competing and getting up on stage? But when you say that to yourself, do you know what the first thing you think about is? Wearing those little shorts on stage. It's the first thing you think about, putting on those little teeny tiny shorts and getting up on stage half naked. And you say, I can't do that crap. Are you kidding me? I can't do that. But, you know, it was always in the back of my head. Summer of 2022, I remember I said, maybe I should do a bodybuilding competition. I said, you know what? Your legs don't match the rest of your body because my legs did not match the top of my body. So I said, why don't you give it another year, grind out your legs, and then see what happens. And it's really what I did. And then 2023, I still was like, oh, I want to compete. But deep down inside, I was not serious about it. I would tell people I wanted to do it. I would tell myself I wanted to do it. But deep down inside, I didn't think I would really do it. I'm being honest, man. Like, I'd say, oh, this is something I want to do. I'm going to do it one day, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And then that's when March of 2023 happened. And I was on the treadmill at the gym and I'm doing my workout. And all of a sudden I get what I thought was really bad heartburn in my chest. I'm like, damn, this heartburn sucks. I got to stop going on the treadmill because I'm thinking by being on the treadmill, it's bouncing all my acid around and it's making it come up. I look it up. There's something called exercise-induced GERD, which is gastrointestinal reflux disease. So, you know, I'm thinking it's that. And then it got worse. Another time I was on the treadmill. I said, you know what? Let me go to the hospital just because this is so weird and it just feels really uncomfortable. I don't like the way I feel. You know what I mean? Let me go to the hospital. So I drove myself to the hospital and I told them straight up I'm having chest pains because as soon as I said that, they dropped everything and they took me in the back. And believe it or not, man, I had a 99% blockage in one of my arteries to my heart. And I was basically under cardiac arrest. You know, that's the pain you feel is basically cardiac arrest. And I'm 99% blocked. They take me to an emergency angioplasty upstairs in the hospital where they put you on a gurney and they put a wire right into your arm here. And it goes all the way up into your heart. And then you die into your heart. And they can see your heart and all the veins up on a huge big TV screen. And I'm looking at this as they're doing this because they keep you awake. And I see it and you're 99% blocked right now. I'm going to put a balloon stent into your artery and I'm going to save you. And I said, thank God. Because when somebody tells you that, you're just like, okay, save me.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And they did that for me. And I had to stay in the hospital overnight. And that was the game changer, man. When you almost die from whatever, you're going to make serious changes in your life. One of the things that I was still doing at the time, I was still consuming cannabis, like smoking it, you know, and doing it a lot. And I had to cut that out. I can't keep smoking that stuff. Let's really do what you wanted to do that you didn't do yet in life. What's that? Bodybuilding competition. That was the first thing on my bucket list. And let me tell you, when I got to the hospital in March, I made that plan. I researched the show for the end of September. I made the plan happen. And I said, I don't care. I'm going to do this. I don't care. Because when you have a near-death experience, it really does a lot to your motivation. I mean, it can do the opposite. Some people can have a near-death experience and be like, oh, I can't make changes in my life. I might as well just die. But that is not me. I'm not that kind of guy. So I decided that I wanted to chase my goals and my dreams, and that's really what I did. And the first bodybuilding competition I did in the summer of 2023, it was Labor Day weekend in September. I killed it, man. I didn't know.
Nice.
I didn't realize that my physique was so ahead of everybody else's at the amateur level at that time. And I just crushed it. And then once they give you the pro card, I had a opposing coach at the time, and she said to me, "How does it feel to be a professional athlete?" Boy, that rang a bell in my head too. Because like I said before, you feel like you have a certain ability to that, you know? Like, I'm a professional athlete, so that means that I have to eat right. I have to diet right. I have to be a role model to other people. I have to be inspirational. And it just all started to come together for me. And honestly, I found it to be very rewarding. Just hitting certain goals and benchmarks and being able to surpass them. And then just getting better with my diet and learning more about, nutrition and stuff like that. It was really, really a big deal for me. It changed me a lot. And I decided that maybe I should become a nutrition coach as well, because I love nutrition so much. So that's what I did. And right now I'm a NASM certified nutrition coach. And I'm also in the process of getting my personal training certification with the same organization, NASM. So I'm halfway through that. I still have a couple of sections to go with class. But I'm telling you, by the summertime, I will be a certified personal trainer with NASM, guaranteed.
Nice. Wow, Jimmy, that's so many valuable things you just mentioned there. That's truly, truly, truly inspiring. So let me, get more value from your story, because that was amazing. Truly, that was my first time hearing it fully like that in detail. So I love it. Now,
thanks, man. I didn't mean to throw so much at you at once.
No, I love it. I've been taking notes here. So no, keep it up. I love it. And so when you told yourself, so that thought of bodybuilding ultimately was your own thought. It wasn't someone who said, "Hey, you should do bodybuilding." It was like, you know what? I want to try it, right?
Yeah. The social media is a big motivator for that, because when you're into weightlifting and you start, looking up different things on social media, especially like Instagram, your algorithm changes. So when you're a big time hiker, all you get is all people hiking and out in the woods and camping and stuff like that. And then my algorithm changed. And at first, it just started showing me a bunch of dudes half naked, because I don't think you realize that I wanted body. You know what I mean? And I was like, I just keep showing these guys like half naked. But then the algorithm realized that I'm looking for bodybuilding, and I started looking at guys like Chris Bumstead, and he was a huge inspiration for me. Especially classic physique, because before you get into bodybuilding and you look at the guys who are in the open right now, like IFBB Open, they're mutants. Like, you look at that and you're like, there's no way anybody could ever look like that unless I'm going to blast tons of gear and I'm going to put myself in harm. It's just not something that's attainable. But you look at the guys who do classic physique and you're like, that is what I can achieve. I can do that on a smaller scale, obviously, but, not the same as what Chris Bumstead did. But you know what I mean? It's just very, very motivating, And that's one of the factors got me into it too, is like, hey, this is something fun. And then you look it up, there's actual natural bodybuilding competitions in your area that you can give a try. So that's what I did, and I found it to be one of the best things I ever did in my life.
That's awesome. Now, let's say then, going into now your whole incident there with the cardiac arrest, once that happened, was there I'm assuming you tell me, was there a 1 month recovery, 2 month recovery that maybe you really couldn't hit the gym, or the doctor's like, hey, no strenuous activities for X amount? And how was that process for you?
That's a great question. So when it first happened, I remember going to my doctor and telling her that I wanted to do a bodybuilding competition, but I don't think I'll be able to. What happened to me, And then she said, no, you can definitely do it. My doctor, Dr. Ferguson, she was great. She really told me that you can get back into lifting and exercising with the stent. There's really no issue why you shouldn't. So it happened in the middle of March. I think with about 3 weeks later, I was back into the gym. And then I had to have another stent placed in May, just to make sure everything was good. And I had to take another 3 weeks off there too. But believe it or not, taking 3 weeks off at a time, it kills you mentally, but it doesn't make you lose too much muscle mass. You know what I mean? It's just, it's more of a mental thing at that point. Muscle atrophy doesn't really occur until if you're completely just laying on a couch for 30 days, that's really where it starts to happen.
Right. Nice. So, and I was assuming then during that process, during those 3 weeks, et cetera, in those two different scenarios, at least let's say maybe your diet, you still kept that in check within your diet.
Always.
Was there anything like home workout or body workouts that you did? Like maybe like little, or you were good on that and just the diet?
No, one of the things that was the issue when you get the stent, you do feel tightness in your chest, and that tightness is kind of like it enables you from not really doing too much. So you just gotta wait it out, you know. But once you're good, they put you in something called cardiac rehab. So cardiac rehab, they start you out doing a bunch of cardio. They'll put me on a Stairmaster, a treadmill, a exercise bike with a heart monitor, and they let you go and do different exercises for an hour, and they monitor you. So that's how you pretty much go from getting the stent back into the gym is through cardiac rehab. Now, when they first offered it to me, you got to understand, I'm a guy who was, 44 when this happened, and way too young. I'm going to go, one of the first things I thought about was people who have heart attacks are in their 60s and 70s. So me doing it in my 44, I don't want to go to cardiac rehab and hang out with a bunch of old people. But, I thought maybe I was already in shape, but no, they explained to me that's not what that's like. It's just to get you a transition from having the stent back into physical activity. I mean, most people get a heart attack without having any physical activity. So they're basically stagnant and they just sit on the couch all day. It just happens. Some people just don't have an active lifestyle. And, when they have a heart attack, cardiac rehab is absolutely necessary because you need to start exercising again to get your heart function back. But because I was already at a pretty high level when it happened, it was very easy for me to transition from the stent going back into the gym. I found that to be pretty easy, because I'm already an active person and I already was doing cardio and all that kind of stuff, which is why all the doctors I don't know why this happened to you. And what they found was hereditary. So in my family history, there is a lot of, I hope I'm going to say the word right, atherosclerosis. It's called atherosclerosis. It's what causes the plaque in your. I have a hard time with that word, but that's the stuff that clogs your arteries. Now it comes from your diet and hereditary. There's two different ways of getting that, and mine is pretty much hereditary. So it is what it is. I just have to take precautions and not eat too much salt and just do what I have to do. But essentially my diet it's pretty much been the same the whole time. I mean, I eat lots of protein, I eat lots of carbohydrates, and about 100 grams of fat a day. That's really what I do. But I have a very well-balanced diet, and everything is dialed in at this point. It's always been dialed in. So the diet thing wasn't really tough for me. It was just going from getting a stent back into training like an animal, so.
Right. Okay, nice. And so now that you mentioned the diet, so are you one to let's say meal prep? Are you constantly, you more on a day-to-day, you meal prep in advance, or you weigh it on a day-to-day basis, or how do you go about that?
So what I do is I have 4 protein sources, but I meal prep 3 of them. So, eggs, you don't meal prep eggs. You just make eggs in the morning. You just eat eggs in the morning. That's what you do.
Right.
But when it comes to my chicken, my ground turkey, and my ground beef, I have all those pre-cooked. So when I just go into the fridge, I just pull out the stuff of chicken, cut it up, throw some rice in there, and then heat it up. So that's what I do. I have everything pre-cooked. So when I just go into the fridge, it's ready to go. Take it 2 days a week to cook.
Nice.
I come home from the gym on a Tuesday and I'll start cooking, and it takes me a few hours, and then I'll do the same thing on a Friday before I start the weekend. So I got everything for the weekend.
Nice. No, I like that, because then ultimately, at least, there is that discipline when it comes to diet, for sure, as we all know. And are those the main protein sources you stick to? Because I want to get the crowd like you, let's say as a bodybuilder who's done it. I know there's also certain kinds of flexibility I've seen. I know you love your food. So it's how do you go about balancing that? Because I know sometimes some people maybe struggle with that too, especially.
So once I got my pro card, I hired a coach, and my coach gave me a diet plan that he had a lot of fish into it. I don't like fish. So one of my protein sources was flounder and salmon. And salmon is very expensive, and flounder just doesn't taste good. And both of those, I did it for a while, for a few months, and I realized, I said, listen, man, I can get the same macro profile from chicken that I can from fish. I switched, man. Fish is expensive. I don't like the way it tastes. I mean, Some people love fish. It's just, for me, no. And now, do I supplement with omega-3s? No, I don't. I eat tuna fish. Tuna fish is cool out of the can every now and then,
There you go. I was going to ask you tuna, because I literally just ate tuna yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, what about tuna?
Nah, tuna is delicious, man. It's just, when it comes to that, the other fish, cooking it like that, I got canned tuna is about as far as it goes for me. I was thinking about adding flounder back in for prep coming up. I don't want to do it, dude. I could eat chicken and get the same profile. It's chicken and flounder have no fat. Same amount of carbohydrates. I mean protein. There's no carbohydrates in either. So, it's got the same fat and protein profile. There's no reason why I can't eat chicken instead of fish. Really not. And I don't see the reason. When it comes to red meat, though, I love 85% lean ground beef. I love having tacos when I come home from the gym. I love making up some ground beef, throwing it in tacos. I love it. But for prep, I cut that out because red meat is a lot of saturated fat in it. And it's a little bit easier just to go with the ground turkey and the grilled chicken with the egg whites. That's going to be my 3 protein sources coming up for prep for the next show. But when it's not prep, I do try to eat a lot of red meat. Man, red meat is the best. Even steak, man, I just love it. You know what I mean? It's just so good. Oh,
yeah, 100%. 100%, definitely. Yeah. For me, same thing. Like I've recently, like when I'll get like I usually go for like ground turkey, and I'll vary it, even though I'm not like in any competition. Even though it's something honestly I will plan to do in the future. For now, I usually vary it between sometimes like the ground turkey, they have like the 93% lean or the 99% lean. Sometimes I'll do the 85%, but same. I love like doing it with like tacos, a little bit of some like cheese, like that little shredded cheese or like sour cream, and then just like taking like 4 or 5 of them. It's good. And then you like weigh it out. You're like, okay, these are some good macros right here.
Yeah, I like the 93 ground turkey is where it's at. 93 for me. When I do 99, it's too hard to, it sticks to your finger. You ever notice on the 99, because it has no fat in it, it's very hard to work with.
Yeah.
And it sticks to my fingers. Go with the 93. 85, the 93 is just, it's perfect, you know.
Nice. When it comes to, let's say, chicken, I know there's always that thing with like bodybuilders and chicken breasts. Are you like that, like just chicken breasts, or you do like other types of chicken drumsticks, or how do you go about that?
Drumsticks. No, I'm a white meat guy. I like the grilled chicken breast. I buy the package, I fillet it and make it all nice. I pound it out so it's nice and tender and throw it on the grill. I love cooking. Nice. I mean, it definitely a chore sometimes doing as much as it that I do, but I do like to cook for myself. It's strange when you go on vacation and you're used to cooking for yourself all the time, then you go on vacation, it's really jarring. I mean, you're just like, oh boy, what am I going to eat? And I noticed that when I'm on, I eat less food because I have to go out. It's like you eat like 3 or 4 times a day. When I'm home, I eat 7 times a day. When I'm on vacation, I eat 4 times a day. So it's like less food. You think when you go on vacation, you're going to get fat. But for me, when I go on vacation, I actually lose weight because I'm not eating as frequently as I do when I'm home. I mean, you eat more of a calorie-dense meals because you're on vacation and you get somebody else cooking you stuff. So, you know, you get a bunch of different stuff to eat. But, you know, used to worry, I'm going to get fat on vacation. And then I come home from vacation and I'm like 3 pounds less because I realize I'm not eating as much food because I eat so much food when I'm home frequently every 2 hours, you know?
Now, let me ask you, before going into another topic, let's say in the sense of diet, right? Because there's so many aspects. Someone, let's say, starting into, let's say, what type of advice from your experience, both as, let's say, bodybuilding, but also like going to the gym and building muscle, those like 2 different aspects, let's say, what would be some of your best advice for those people like wanting to get, let's say, more disciplined with their diet, tracking their foods, the types of foods to eat?
Well, you just said it, tracking. Tracking is number 1, the most important way to keep yourself accountable for the food that you eat. You may think you know how many calories or anything, but you need to put it to pen and paper or get an app on your phone and log everything and then look at it at the end of the day and really see where you're at. Same with your workouts. You need to log everything with an app or pen and paper when you're at the gym. So when you go back the next week, you could see what you did the week before and you could add more reps or more weight to what you did before. Because if you keep doing the same workout every time you go to the gym, you're gonna hit a point where you're not gonna grow anymore. You're gonna plateau completely. And you want to avoid plateaus, you have to continually keep pushing yourself. So I say track everything. And diet is more important than the gym, especially when you first start. You have to get the diet locked in. Keep it simple. Do like, egg whites with some toast in the morning, multigrain toast. Just do like 2 or 3 ingredient meals so it's easier for you to get them together and just to eat them. Come home from the gym, eat chicken and rice. Later on in the day, you can have some ground turkey with asparagus or grilled chicken with some green beans. Just 2 or 3 ingredient meals just to make it real easy for you. And then track everything. Track where you're at. First month or 2, you're going to see the kind of diet you have and then make changes based upon that. It's all about trial and error when it comes to the gym. You have to just be able to see what you did and then see if it made you progress any. I know too many people that don't track their food, don't track their workouts, and then they say, how come I'm not making any changes in my body? It's because you don't know where you're at to make the changes. You have to have a baseline. Okay, this is where I'm at my baseline. This diet's working. If it's making me too fat, I might have to cut a few things out, or I might have to add more cardio. It's all about manipulating those 2 things through tracking. It's very important.
Yep. And I like how you said, yeah, definitely I agree on the tracking, because when I started tracking myself too, that's when I started seeing like, oh, okay, so I'm not eating as much as I actually thought, or this actually has way more, let's say, less protein than I thought, or more fat. Then okay, hold up, let me actually reduce it, because now if I eat this, then all my macros are gone and it's not enough of what I need. So 100%. And I think, and you tell me, I think it definitely comes down to really trying your best to like always like make your own meals, because it gets so tricky, in my opinion, eating out. Or like if, let's say, I know some people that maybe they work in offices, they're like, they don't have time to cook, and say they're constantly eating out. In my personal opinion, from my own experience, and you tell me, Jimmy, your thoughts, that it gets super hard to really get really strict, like when I say strict, tracking your macros when you eat out a lot. Because a lot of times if you go out, some places, yeah, you could go on, let's say like Chipotle or McDonald's, like you're just throwing random, you could find the macros. But then there's some like local little like deli shops or something that's like, where are you going to find the macros? Like there's no macros there.
So in my town, there's a place called Mario's. It's the best pizza Italian place in town, okay? You go to this place, you have no idea how many calories you're about to put in your body. They have it's just a mom and pop place. The food is so rich and it's so filling, and it's like, I have no idea what I'm eating here. I mean, it's delicious food, but what I'm realizing is that when it comes time to eat out, I would rather say to my brother, let's go to Chili's, because I know the Chili's menu. I can track everything on Chili's instead of going to Mario's, because Mario's, I can't track it and I have no idea what I ate. And that's basically now where I'm at. I like to go to places that I can track my food and I know what I'm going to eat, because that's so important. An example is, so yesterday, I'm in my last week of bulking. So my coach is like, I want you to have a massive cheat meal yesterday. And I'm like, all right, I'll have a massive cheat meal. So 5 o'clock meal, I went to McDonald's. I got a double quarter pounder with no cheese. I got a medium fry and a Coke. Okay. After I ate that, so disgusting. I felt gross. I felt gross. I was like, I felt good going in, but once it settled in my stomach, I was like, oh man. So then once 7 o'clock came around where I have to eat again, I almost didn't want to eat, because you're like, oh, I just ate that disgusting meal. But then you're like, no, when you look at tracking, that was only 700 calories, guy. You got to eat again. And that's basically, so sometimes in your head, because you ate McDonald's, you think, I don't have to eat for the rest of the day. It actually makes it where you're not going to eat as much food as you should. And being a competitive bodybuilder, I need to eat right now 4,000 calories a day, 4,400. What's crazy is if I don't eat that much calories, the next day I'll weigh way less. I don't know how that works, man, but it's the human body's crazy. So when you have a lot of muscle mass, it's actually something your body doesn't want. So when you have tons of muscle mass, your body doesn't want to hold on to all that muscle mass. It's very high maintenance. You have to eat a lot of calories to keep it. And your body's like, no. You don't need all that. Let's get rid of it. And it's the first thing it wants to do is get rid of that excess muscle mass over your fat. So you have to continually keep eating a lot of food to make that happen. So now when I'm in prep, how do I get my body not to eat the muscle mass and burn the fat? Well, you have to eat a lot of protein, and a moderate amount of carbs. And then you just completely eliminate the fat to a bare minimum, what you just basically need to eat for survival, for fat wise. And I noticed that that's the key, because if you train with no carbs, let's say I'm on the treadmill, your body wants to use a mix of carbohydrates and fat as a fuel source. If you're depriving your body of carbohydrates and it's not there, it's going to break down muscle tissue so it can get the glycogen to turn it into fuel. And you have to have adequate carbohydrates in your body to prevent that from happening. So I will probably scale back my carbohydrates from 500 grams a day to about 250, and I will keep protein exactly the same when I go on the prep. So by dropping my carbs a little bit and keeping the protein high, I still ensure that when I do my workouts, I'm not going to burn muscle. I'll burn carbohydrates instead of the muscle. And when I want to, I can burn fat. Now, burning fat is a unique thing, because if you're on the treadmill and you're able to carry a conversation on with somebody while you do your treadmill work, you're going to burn exclusively fat and not carbohydrates. So if you're able to have a conversation like I'm having with you now and walk on the treadmill, you're going to burn exclusively fat. Now, you may have to do a little bit more on the treadmill than you normally would if you were going to be walking fast or running, because when you're doing it slow like this, it takes a little bit to burn the calories. So I might be doing 45-minute to an hour sessions on the treadmill, but doing it at a low intense steady state to just primarily burn fat. This is the key, man, to doing bodybuilding. It's just, if I get on the treadmill, I say, oh, I want to lose weight real quick, and I start running every day, I'm going to eat into my muscle mass. So it's a game you have to play. It's very different than losing weight than burning fat. It's completely different things. So some people are like, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape for the summer. I don't want to lose weight. If I could stay the same weight and just drop every bit of fat on my body, I would be so happy with that. That's exactly what I want. So it's a different thing when you do bodybuilding, you know? I hope I made that clear. I don't know.
Nice. No. Yeah. If I'm following correctly, I like how you mentioned that because that's been super valuable to me. And I know for the people listening to this after, it's going to be super valuable. So it's ultimately, like you said, it really comes down to really tracking your macros and knowing how to balance them based off of what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
It's not just so much like, okay, because I know a lot of people like, oh, carbs is bad, so I'm not going to eat carbs. Like, hey,
that's terrible.
And it's
wrong. I'm telling you that. So if I'm a normal person that doesn't go to the gym and I'm trying to get ready for a wedding, let's say I'm going to get married in 4 or 5 weeks and I want to fit into my tuxedo, this is a completely different thing than what I'm doing. If you want to fit in your tuxedo, go ahead, cut out all your carbs, go run on the treadmill. You're going to drop that weight and you're going to fit into that tuxedo. I mean, are you going to like the way you look naked? I don't know. But see, you see, there's two different things. Losing weight and losing fat are two very different things. And I'm sure we're going to touch on it in a little bit, the differences between weight training, bodybuilding, and powerlifting. It's the same kind of thing almost.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, and I'm glad you mentioned because exactly where I wanted to like hit his let's say go into now, like that differences, because I know like a lot of people like, you know, sometimes they confuse power, like let's say bodybuilding with like, oh, lifting weights. It's like, oh, I don't want to look too jacked. I'm like, well, you're not going for that. You know, like totally different. So yeah, like
I love that. I want to look too jacked.
Elaborate on that, like the differences so the audience knows between powerlifting, bodybuilding, just weight training, because like you said, they're definitely different aspects for sure.
When we first start out in the gym, that is called weightlifting. You go there, you pick up a dumbbell, you do your 10 reps, 3 sets of 10, and you put them down, and you do the same thing the next week, and the week after, and the week after. And you're just like, oh, I feel great. I went to the gym. I did my workout. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me preface. There's nothing wrong with doing it like that. That is how people go to the gym. They stay healthy and they live happy lives by lifting like that. When you're a bodybuilder, it's different. So let me mention powerlifting first. So there's weightlifting, and then powerlifting is you trying to lift as much weight as you can for 2 to 3 reps. Now, this is completely different than bodybuilding. So if I wanted to, I just load the bar up. Ready? Let's go. And we're done. Let's just say that was 250 pounds, okay? Oh, boy, I feel great. I'm nice and strong. It's a great feeling. But as far as muscle development, you didn't do a goddamn thing. You definitely increased your strength, but for muscle development, you didn't do anything. So I say instead of 270 on the bar, let's put 225. Let's start off real slow and then rip up, slow, rip up. Everything is controlled, time under tension. It's all about getting the blood into the muscle to make a pump. It's not about the number of reps you do, but you want to do more than 8 reps. So when you do bodybuilding, you want to get at least 8 solid controlled reps in to get a nice pump. If you do less than 8, you might get a pump after from like 6 or 7, but it's ideally 8 to 12 reps every set. If you go over 12 reps, that's fine. It's very effective, but you might need to increase the weight a little bit at that point, you know, because doing 15 reps, you might get a better benefit at a little bit heavier, get those 8 to 12 reps. So it's like staying in a range where you can have a moderate amount of weight, enough to get the muscle engorged with blood, where you're like, dude, I'm walking around like this after I just worked out, you know, and everything's all puffy and you can't even move your arms up because they're all engorged with blood. And that's bodybuilding right there. It's not about ripping a bunch of reps. It's about the quality of reps, not the quantity. Mm-hmm. So it's all about quality with bodybuilding. And eventually you really make that mind-muscle connection every time you go to the gym. Like it's just automatic. So something that's occurred with me is I've stopped listening to my headphones when I'm training. Crazy, right? Like,
there you go.
I have no interest in wearing
Facts,
my headphones.
I know. Some people are like they need their headphones.
No, same here. I remember when I went to the gym once, I turned around and went home to get my headphones, and like now I don't even use them. And because I'm so concentrated on what I'm doing, I don't need that. That's actually a distraction having the music in my ears. So I like to just be me in the weights. It's very therapeutic, and I do make a little bit of noise. So let's just be honest here. So there are people in the gym that don't like it when you make noise. There are some people who love it when you make noise. I have people tell me, dude, when you're working out in the gym, it gets me so motivated hearing you grunt like that. Oh my God, I love it. And I have other people that complain to the manager. This guy, he's a jerk. He just makes a bunch of noise. He's distracting to me. I wish he wasn't in the gym. Listen, I did Taekwondo, so I know when you do Taekwondo, yeah,
Yeah.
get the amount of force you need to punch somebody. They tell you to breathe out and go, yeah. It's the same thing when I exercise. So when I'm doing bench press, it's and that's what I do. And honestly, I know that people don't like it. Some people
I think
love
that's
it.
epic, though.
It's something.
I think that's epic.
Yeah, I have to do that. And, it's just, so sometimes people say, oh, you don't belong in this gym. I like Retro Fitness. It's the place, the gym I've been to for the past 6 years, and it's my home, so I'm not going anywhere,
Yeah. And I see your gym. It looks super dope. And I think that energy for me personally, I think is super dope because, like you said, like if I hear, it's happened to me sometimes, it does not as often, but sometimes I hear other people like grunting in the gym or something, and then I'm like struggling myself with the weight, and then I hear the other person grunt. I'm like, yo, keep going. You're like, come on, you got this too. Like, it's just something about it. I mean, recently I was just at the event here, Lift Miami, that Gymshark had. And, everyone, Gymshark is a lot of powerlifting too, but there's also bodybuilders there.
Yeah.
But it's just so cool, especially in the PR cages. So let's say, bench, deadlift, squats. And so like you got a whole crowd around. It's like, okay, guys, so how much are we doing? We're putting 3 plates, we're putting 4 plates. Okay, and then you see the whole crowd just banging on the cage, like, let's go. Yeah, you got this.
That's
Come
awesome.
on, up.
You're getting
And
going
the
right now.
the vibe there is just like so insane. Like, oh my God. And it's something that you really never experience in a gym because, like, it's just, you're never going to have like 30 people just yelling like, yo, go. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy experience. And I think it's dope. Like, I remember the other day I was doing chest and another person was also doing chest incline. And I'm there with I was actually doing a TikTok live. So I was doing because I've been doing lately like little TikTok lives when I'm at the gym just to kind of connect with other, like build a community, connect with other people. So I had like a little TikTok live. I'm there like benching, talking with some people that were in the chat. And then, okay, I'm like, all right, I'm doing my set. So 1, 2, and then I'm getting to that point kind of like near failure around like 9, 10. I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting, and then I hear this guy next to me, like he's like grunting, like he's like with 3, 4 friends of his. And he's like, come on. And I was like, I felt like if they were cheering for me. So I'm like, come on, you got this. So I think it's cool when you have like that kind of, let's say, hardcore vibe. But like you said, it's definitely not for everyone. Some people get awful by it. I think it's epic as heck, though.
So you were at that Gymshark event. I had 3 of my followers invite me to go to that Gymshark event, and I can't go because I have work and my financial situation at the moment. That's a bucket list of mine. I really want to go to one of those events.
They did one, though, in New York last year.
Oh, I got to go. I do. Hopefully this summer, maybe something will pop up that I can get to.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of
hopefully
different brands. Like YLA, they have one out in LA, and they have one down for the Gymshark. And it's just like, that is so much fun. You're just around a bunch of like-minded people just like you who are absolutely psycho about the gym, especially with their gym fits and all that kind of stuff. Because you know how we get clothes too, and the culture, and what kind of little thing can I buy today for the gym? I love it. It's like a whole hobby. It's more than a hobby. It's a lifestyle. And just to be around,
it's a lifestyle, 100%.
And I mean, like, okay, so, you sent me a pair of shorts, right? When you sent me those shorts, I got so excited. I couldn't wait to go to the gym. Wear these new shorts that I got. I love them, but I'm actually going to wear them tomorrow. I love those shorts, man.
There you go.
The gym fits get you motivated. Listen, man, when you buy a new gym, people 100%. Tell me I've lost my motivation in the gym. I say, go buy new gym clothes. Because if you buy new gym clothes, it's like going out. Oh, I want to dress up some new clothes. Get all out there and do it. It's a lot of fun. And speaking of gym clothes,
yeah,
I'm so overweight right now that my clothes don't fit me. So I can't wait to start cutting so I can start fitting into my gym clothes again.
Nice. That's
my new one.
No, 100%. Yeah. Like that fitted look.
Yeah. I've been wearing baggy shirts and stuff and like baggy shorts to the gym, and it's just like, I can't wait to get back to my tight stuff.
Pump covers, as we call them.
Yeah, because it's all season.
No, 100%. No, I agree with you there. I think definitely, you get you like a nice, good like fit, and you're like, yeah, it just gives you like a little like, or like it gives you some motivation to like, hey, I want to fit in that shirt. Or let's say if I especially like kind of like those oversized ones, so I get them kind of bigger. And it's like, hey, now you grow into it. We're starting to feel a little bit tight. You're like, okay. I remember when this was a little bit loose and now it's starting to feel tight on me. So it's kind of like that self-motivation for you too. No, 100%. But no, this has been super, super awesome, honestly. Now, I also wanted to ask another thing too. When it comes to, let's say, we always talk about this in fitness, but you are like a perfect example of it. When it comes to, let's say, discipline and motivation, right? And we all know, like, when it comes to like fitness, it really is about discipline. I'm sure you have your days, maybe, you're tired from work or this, where you don't probably want to catch a lift. As much as we love the gym, but maybe there's always one of those days like, hey, I really don't want to catch a lift, or I maybe don't want to track this food, or like how do you go about handling that? And, just like you said, that discipline aspect of it.
That popped up on Monday. So I train Sunday, Mondays, Tuesdays. I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, off Saturday. So I trained on Sunday. I did a really good shoulder workout. And then Monday came around. I was so tired. I had to do legs too. So when you do legs, it's like, if I'm not 100%, I don't want to go to the gym. And I remember I saying to myself, I should just take today off and go on. The discipline kicks in, man. The discipline kicks in so hard where it's like, well, if I stay home, what am I going to do? It's not my regularly scheduled day. I have to go do what I got to do. So for me, when it comes to the discipline, if I really feel like that, so this is what I did on Monday. So normally when I go to do legs, I lift very heavy. I decided to cut the weight and do a deload day. So that's what I did. I cut the weight a little bit. I went a little bit lighter, still got very good reps in, and I got a great pump, but I didn't go as heavy. And that really saved me, because if I was tired like that and I went super heavy, I probably would have wiped myself out for the whole week. I know myself. So it's being on this fitness journey, I know when I need rests. I've learned that you have to take rests, but there are times where I want to take a rest after I just rested. Like being on a rest on Saturday, working out on Sunday, and then wanting to rest again on Monday is not right, even though I was completely tired. So I decided let's just cut the weight. I did that. I came home and I took a nap, and bang, it helped so much. I felt so good. And I'm really glad that I was able to do that, because on days you don't feel like doing it, at least show up, but cut the weight. You don't have to go as super hard as you did that one day. Just cut the weight, get a nice pump, and then move on. Because sometimes if you don't feel it, and you possibly could hurt yourself. So, I mean, if you're tired and you want to go to push yourself, I'm not saying don't go to the gym. I'm just saying don't push yourself 100%. You can cut the weight for that one day and then just get a pump and then go back to it again next week. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because sometimes I've had some like kind of little off days. You're like, you know what? Like, okay, I know I can lift this weight, but I don't know, something's a little off. Let me go a little lighter, where, you do a little more reps, so you still like push yourself, but at least you're not like possibly in the risk of injuring yourself because something's just off with your body that day, not enough sleep the day before, or just, something's on your mind, is kind of distracting you. So 100% spot on there.
Or you could just go to the gym, not even lift weights, just do cardio. So sometimes my coach will say, I don't feel it today, my joints hurt. Just, you know what? Just do some cardio. Call it a day. Do some cardio. Eat right. Don't eat any shit food today. Just do cardio, and then we'll get back at it another day. I remember when I first started doing the bodybuilding, I felt like I had to go to the gym every day. So I was going 7 days a week, and I burnt myself out to the point where I hated going to the gym for a small period of time. I was like, dude, this sucks so bad. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. But I still went because of the discipline. But I learned that I didn't have to go every day. There was no reason for me to go every day. You have to take rests. You have to listen to your body. And if you don't, you're going to get injured, or you're going to get burnt out, and you're not going to want to go anymore. So this is a long journey. There's nothing short about this. Everything is long. It takes a while to build muscle. It takes a while to see changes in your body. It doesn't take that long, but it takes this consistency of doing it every day. And if you burn yourself out, you're never going to reach the goals that you want. So you have to take it easy, take the rest that you need, and it's so beneficial for you. Taking a rest is not a weak thing. Like Rich Piana, I like his YouTube videos. He's definitely over the top, but do I take everything he says as the Bible? No, I don't. And it's just because he'd be like, oh, taking a rest, it's weak. No, it's not. It's not weak. You have to take rests. There's nothing wrong with that. People talk, I see a lot of people on Instagram like, oh, no days off, no rest days. I get that mentality. It's a great mentality to have. You're getting after it, but you got to rest. You got to listen to your body, and you have to be able to, do this for the long haul. This isn't something we're doing for a few months. This is just a lifestyle you're going to do for the rest of your life, hopefully,
Yep, 100%. No, I agree with you there. I was literally having a conversation the other day on a friend of mine through TikTok as well, that we were having that same, like, taking rest days, where it's like, what do you mean? Like, you never rest? Like, hey, your body still's got to rest. Ultimately, when you rest, that's also when your body recuperates and your muscles grow through that rest too. So if you're never resting, how do you expect to grow? And it's like, yeah, no, you're like spot on there. Now, also, let me ask you the following here, Jimmy, too, just to like give a little more insights into what's kind of like, I know you talked a little bit about your current split. What's ultimately some of your like favorite exercises that you like to do for each type of day on your split, just to kind of give some value there for your exercises, because I know that's a good one.
All right, so Sundays is shoulders and triceps, okay? I like to do shoulders and triceps together because when you do shoulders, you inadvertently work your triceps. So why not add that in as a secondary workout? So when I do shoulders and triceps, my favorite workout, the all-time favorite one, is military presses. I love standing, taking that bar, and military press to me, it just makes these shoulders into big boulders, and I love military press. Definitely my favorite one. And then when it's leg day, which is Monday, it's squats. Squats to me are the best. I like lunges too, but squats, there's just something about squatting that is it's the best.
Something about squats. I agree with you.
And when it comes to back, for me, the close grip pulleys where you sit on the bench and you get the cables and you're close grip like this, and you come all the way forward and you bring it back. I love the way I feel when I do that. It is one of the best. And I go all the way forward, full range of motion, come back, squeeze. It's close grip pulleys, I call them. They're so awesome.
Nice. I was actually, just before the podcast, I was actually doing back, and I was actually doing those.
Yeah.
Today specifically, normally I do them close grip like that. Today I did them like single-handed. Kind of like single-handed, but yeah, no, definitely those close grip hit.
Hey, so you ask like the big time bodybuilders, like Dorian Yates, and they say the best exercise for back are barbell rows. People love barbell rows. If I do a barbell row, it messes my back up. I'm not a young guy, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit older. So for me to hinge my body like that and to stand up and to do the barbell rows, it's not something that I enjoy doing or like, and I don't find it effective. Now, for other people, it could be the most effective back exercise there is. But when it comes to me, I do not like to do those. I like to do the close grip pulleys, get full range of motion, and come up. It's my favorite one. There's a lot of different back exercises I do, but that one is by far the most effective. And if you want to talk chest day, it's flat bend all day. I mean, come on.
Nice. Let's go.
Incline or flat bench.
That's classic.
Incline to me is the best, especially on the Smith machine. Now, I know people say the Smith machine is girly or whatever. No, Smith machine is amazing. It's keeping you where you don't mess your shoulders up. Everything is straight. I love the Smith machine. Smith machine incline is the chest builder. This thing, it just boom, boom, boom. That's what that does. So.
Yes, no, 100%. It's funny because recently myself, I switched from barbell to like Smith inclines just to like, okay, let me try something different.
So much better.
I was doing, I'm like, my God, like the pump on this, like you feel the stretch on the chest is not bothering my shoulder. Thank God, finally, because with barbell, sometimes it would bother a little bit my right shoulder. It's like, it's not bothering.
Yeah.
Like, and the pump is like insane. Like, and I've been telling me, wow, I've been really sleeping on incline Smith because holy crap, this is really good.
Incline Smith, man, I'll tell you a little thing that I do. So my last set, I dropped the weight to just 2 plates, one on each side, 45s. And I go real slow. And then I have it touch my chest and I leave it there for 1 second. I call it pause reps. And then go up. Dude, you do those real slow.
That's
you do 12, 15 of those, you're going to be dead. Your chest will be so pumped up afterwards. Give it a try, man. I'm telling you, it's a great one.
I'm trying it. I'm recording it and I'm going to send it to you after. You're going to see. Definitely.
You've done that before. I posted a couple of exercises on my stories and you've recorded and sent them back to me. I was like, oh man, he's killing it. Excellent job, man,
Definitely, yeah, for sure. No, awesome. And so last but not least, Jimmy, it's been an amazing conversation. Love it. That's why I'm so happy. If let's say there was one final, advice that you can give to the audience, one final piece that you want to leave to the audience, what would that be?
Have patience when it comes to this fitness journey. Nothing's going to happen overnight. I had a guy's son, my friend of mine, Tom, he's a police officer. He's got a son named Rob. And I work out with him sometimes. And Rob gets very frustrated that he's not seeing the progress he wants. But he wants to see it overnight. Rob, you're a great guy. I don't think I'm talking shit about you right now. You're a great dude. You're a young guy. I just want you to learn the right way. You know what I mean?
We love you, Rob. Much love to Rob.
It's more about taking your time with it. Actually, even trying to go too heavy with the weights at first. Take your time. Have patience. Start off light. Make sure the reps are slow and controlled. and then increase weight after that. Don't try to just start off heavy thinking you're going to get big overnight. It's not going to happen. There's no drugs you're going to take that's going to get you big overnight. There's nothing you can do about that. You have to put the work in. You have to train hard. You have to eat right. There's no magic pill that's going to make it happen. And that's basically it. That's just, you just got to have patience and consistency and discipline, and it'll all come together. That's all.
Beautiful. Love it, Jimmy. And that's what conclude today's episode of the G3X podcast. Love it. Again, thank you so much, Jimmy. I hope the audience, you guys got a lot of value. This was a super fun one. This was a super, super fun one. Jimmy, if the audience wanted to find you on social media, what social media platforms are you on so they could give you a follow? Please make sure to follow Jimmy. He's an amazing dude. He's going to inspire you with his content just as he's inspired me. So where can they find you, Jimmy?
Exclusively on Instagram right now. I am at The Sword of Sound. My handle is The Sword of Sound because I used to be, I still am a professional DJ, and my account was originally set up for being a DJ, but DJing is just my job. My passion is bodybuilding. So that's where I'm at right now. So at The Sword of Sound on Instagram, and I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel in the future. I've always wanted to do it, just the time to do it all. It's something I gotta make time for, but eventually one day.
100%. You'll make it just like you did bodybuilding. I know I'm rooting for you on that YouTube channel. You got this for sure.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure, guys, I'll put that in the YouTube description. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description on the link below, so you guys can click on it or give them a follow. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it'll also be in the description, so at least you can search it up and then go on social and give them a follow. But again, thank you so much, Jimmy, for being here.
Thank you.
Until the next time, until the next episode, please subscribe. A lot more episodes. We release a new episode every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So this was episode 10. And again, appreciate you guys. And God, Jim Grind, as always. Peace out, everyone.